Hey, what's going on? It's Kelly here, and welcome to this 7-day Crave Sobriety Challenge. Oh, can you hear the sirens? Don't mind them. They're not coming for me. I'm glad you're here. This is where we get into day one. What I'm going to do is post one of these videos every day for the next week. By the way, if you want all 7 of these right now, plus a couple of bonus things, join my free community. It's called Sobriety with Kelly. The link is in my channel description. It's absolutely free, and you'll get access to this all 7 days, plus an amazing community, plus some sobriety foundations and some live coaching right away. So check that out if you want. But in the meantime, I want to get into this day one, which is going to be the foundation, understanding sobriety, and we'll get into a little bit of work as well. So let's get into this. And before I do, I want to say this before we get into this. The reason I became a recovery coach is because my experience in 12-step groups was that I saw way too many people get sober and get stuck. And what I noticed is that a lot of people were just pretending to be happy with just not using or just not drinking today, and the other people there who were just as stuck as they were would say, "You're doing great. That's all you need, man. Just you gotta be sober. That's it." And for me, I'm like, that wasn't enough for me. I love those groups, and I still go from time to time, so I'm not knocking them, but sometimes I think people think sobriety is the end goal, and you go through this 7-day Crave Sobriety Challenge, I promise you, by the time you're finished, you are going to have a complete sobriety system with daily routine, some fitness, you're going to have some accountability, and most important, you are going to have some goals set for yourself that get you excited and make relapse unthinkable. That's the idea here. I prevent relapse in my own life because my goals speak louder than my cravings. I'll be coming up to 15 years sober this summer. I'll be honest with you, last night I had a dream that I had like a pound, literally a brick of crack. I don't know where this dream came from, and I smoked it in my dream. I still get these things. However, they're meaningless to me because I have too much to lose now. I've built a life that I don't need to escape from. And that's the key to long-term sobriety for me. Community is a huge part of that as well. So let's get into that and get into it right now. Why sobriety isn't about willpower, it's about an identity change, and why sobriety fails for a lot of people. They rely on willpower, which fades fast. Ever wonder why people who binge on sugar do it at the end of the day? That's because all their defenses are gone. Our energy it's a finite resource, and so is our willpower. So it fades during the day. That's why I always used to relapse after white knuckling it all day long. Eventually in the evening I just say, forget about it. I gotta go out and do it, So we rely on willpower, and that doesn't work. People see sobriety as deprivation instead of a transformation. They see sobriety as the goal. Sobriety is one of the goals. It's one of the tools that allows us to create a life that we love, so we don't have to go back to the old life. People don't change their identity, so they keep thinking like a drinker or a user, but without the alcohol or drugs. And that's where relapse rears its ugly, disgusting head. And they don't build a reliable system. I'm big on daily routines, community, accountability, and fitness, all part of my daily routine, and I hope it becomes part of yours as well. And look, the only way to change is to change. We have to take action. We have to know what we want, we have to know who we want to be, and we have to start behaving like that person. So what actually works for long-term sobriety? It's an identity shift, plain and simple. Becoming the version of you who doesn't need or want, for that matter, alcohol or drugs. Community, surrounding yourself with people who reinforce your new identity and support you. New habits, building a life you don't want to escape from, which means setting goals, working on them, and getting excited about the future. I hear one day at a time all the time, and I totally understand that this day, this moment is all we will ever have. But when I've designed an exciting future and I'm starting to work on getting there, that makes today a hell of a lot more enjoyable. If I've got nothing to look forward to, one day at a time is terrifying. And I lived like that for a long time. That's why I relapsed for 5 solid years. Believe me, I've been there. When done properly, you will go from I want to use but I can't to I don't want to use because I have too much to lose. That's the goal with this 7-day sobriety challenge. Here's the identity shift framework, okay? Number 1, who am I now? That's your current self or your old self. That's where you're starting from. Number 2, who do I want to become? Your future self, your mentor self, your goals. And then 3, what habits does that future self have? And we will get into this when we focus on vision a little later on. That's module 4 or 5 or day 4 or 5 of this. So don't worry about that right now. We're going to build that for you together. We have to know who we want to be, and we have to start working on it. So here's the science behind it, how identity shapes actions. We don't crave because of the drug. We crave because of who we believe we are. We fall for the lies of the voices in our head. Those are just thoughts. Those are not the truth. Actions reinforce identity. If we consistently show up at the gym, for example, we start seeing ourselves as a hardworking, committed, fit person, and that's a new identity. That's just an example, but that's one of those cool keystone habits that helps change our identity. I can remember when I first got into recovery, after all that relapse, and I was about 40 pounds overweight. Man, I was almost 200 pounds. I'm 5'6", so put that into context. But I started going to the gym. I started doing some exercise and running. And man, I looked better, so I felt better. My identity changed. I'll never go back. I love being in shape now. I love looking good. It's a fantastic transformation. The quicker we design a new identity with healthy habits, the quicker we move away from the parts of ourselves that we want to change. Here's the tip. Choose an identity first. Choose who you want to be first, and then build your new habits around it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Here are the 2 choices test. Think about this. Keep this in the back of your mind. At every moment, you have 2 choices. You can reinforce your old identity, which means go back to drinking, using, and the habits associated with it. That's the easy way. Usually the habits come first, and then the drinking or using comes second. Or, number 2, you can reinforce your new identity. You got to know what you want and make a decision that your future self would make, that role model self, because your future self is already sober and happy and kicking ass. So what would they do? But it requires resilience, and you're going to learn that here. Here's a little exercise for you to keep in mind. Pause before any decision and ask yourself, is this choice I'm making bringing me closer to the person I want to be? It's a real simple exercise for you. Keep that in the back of your mind. Here's a reminder for you, my friend. With every decision you make, you are either investing in or borrowing from your future self. There's no other option. If we just stay flat, then we are stealing from our future selves, because if we're not moving ahead in life, we're moving back. There's no such thing as coasting in life. An old mentor of mine said, Kelly, there's only one way to coast, and that's downhill. So if you're not changing, you're regressing. So the power of your future self in sobriety. Most people relapse because they're focused on what they're losing instead of who they are becoming. Your future self is already sober, strong, successful. You just need to meet them. To meet them, you have to start behaving like them. And here's a great book recommendation for you. Dr. Benjamin Hardy, one of my favorite authors. I do read a lot of books. That's what makes me a great coach, because I'm always learning. Plus, I'm very handsome. This one's called Be Your Future Self Now, and I highly recommend this book to anyone who wants to get a better idea of the future self and the science behind it. Dr. Hardy, he's an organizational psychologist. He's a fantastic author and a great guy. I've taken a couple of courses of his, and it cost me a bit of money, but man, it's so worth it. So worth it. So that's a great book if you're looking for one. So I want you to think about this question. What could be possible if you stop for good? What might feel lighter? What might open up for you? What might be possible for you that isn't possible right now? I don't want you to, plan your life right now. You don't need to solve problems. I just want you to get creative and imagine what could be possible for you. Another great way to put this is, if you woke up tomorrow morning and a miracle had taken place in your life, what would that look like? So pause this for 3 or 4 minutes and just notice what comes up for you. What would happen if you stopped using for good? Who would that affect in your life? How many people's lives would be better? What new opportunities and choices would open up for you? So pause the video and just think about that. If you want to write it down, do a little journaling, I would totally encourage that too. All right, we're back. So here's the line in the cement. Tony Robbins, I like that guy too. I went through one of his coaching courses. It was fantastic. He said, stop writing lines in the sand. The tide washes those away every day. Write this line. Draw your line in the cement so it's immovable. This challenge only works if there is a clear start line, a commitment to quit for good. Not soon, not eventually, a real quit date. Because setting goals when I'm high on crack never worked for me. You have two paths right now. And by the way, both are, there's no wrong answer here. But you have two paths. Number one, if you're not ready to quit yet, that's okay. You stay here on day one. You rewatch it. You sit with it, but do not move on yet, okay? But if you're ready, maybe you've already quit, and that's even better. But I want you to write down your quit date. Today, tomorrow, within the next 7 days. Tell at least one person about it. And it's optional. If you are in my free community, I want you to post it in the 7-Day Crave Challenge chat, which is this little tab right here, and then move on to day 2 when you are committed. So that's all you need to do for day 1. Contemplate that question I gave you. What would be possible for you if you stopped? Who would be affected? How would your life change? What other opportunities and choices would open up for you? And like I said, another way to frame that is if you woke up tomorrow morning and a miracle had taken place in your life. How would you know? What would that look like for you? This is a great way to sort of start the ball rolling on figuring out who we want to be. So let's do it. So that's your only homework for today. And tomorrow, we're going to move on to day 2, all right? We'll see you in the next one. And like I said, if you haven't joined my free community yet, go to my profile, click the link, and I'll see you in there. Bye.